is a 13-minute glute workout for you, and it's suitable for any period during your pregnancy. So I am 37 weeks pregnant right now, and when you're pregnant, the weight of your bump can cause your glutes to switch off. So glutes are really important to work. So let's get to it. So you'll need to come over onto your hands and knees first of all. So knees hip distance apart, and then carefully just come down onto your forearms. Now if this is uncomfortable for you, you can do this on your hands instead. But sometimes it's quite nice to take the pressure off of your wrists, especially because the next exercise will be on your hands. So you're on your forearms, I gently squeeze my hands together, and you'll feel that when you squeeze your hands together, it really helps to activate the muscles across the chest, so it can stop you sinking into your arms. Now double check again that the knees are hip distance apart. Try to find a neutral pelvis, so just watch that you're not overextending that lower back. And we're going to shift the weight over to the left leg. Now keep your right knee bent, and as you exhale, you're going to slowly lift your right foot up towards the ceiling. And on the inhale, bring the leg down until the knee is just about to touch the floor, and then we go again. Exhale, lift that right leg up into the air, and inhale to slowly release it back down. Now as you lift the leg, just be mindful of the lower back. As the knee goes up, the lower back shouldn't dip, it shouldn't overextend. We're aiming for a neutral pelvis. It's more likely to dip if you have tight hip flexors. So maybe if you do a lot of running or you sit down a lot of the day. So just be really careful, maybe use a mirror if you can for the first time, just to check that as your knee goes up, you're not sinking into your lower back. A good way of keeping a neutral pelvis would be to visualize you gently pulling your belly button in just a touch, or imagining that you're gently hugging your baby, so there's a slight activation through your transverse muscle, your core muscle. Now we're going to go for two more like this. Just check you're not shifting your weight to the left, so hips are nice and level. Last one, lift the leg up and hold, and tiny pulses, really using your glutes. So think about the gluteal fold, the crease under your bum cheek, and try to squeeze from there. 3, 2, last one, we're going to hold, and then lower that knee back down. Now you might want to take a quick child's pose here, so I take my knees a bit wider and I just sort of sit back on my heels, give my head a shake, give my shoulders a quick roll, and then you're going to go do the other leg. So again, shimmy forwards so that you're on your forearms, double check the knees hip distance apart, find your neutral, so for some of us that will mean a slight tucking under of the pelvis. And when you're ready, shift your weight to your right knee, exhale, lift your left leg into the air, inhale to lower it back down. Now we don't really want the angle at the knee to change, so I imagine I have a beach ball or a football behind my knee that I'm trying to hold on to. So that you're keeping that angle the same, and the only movement here is coming from your left glute. And again, we're trying to visualize the gluteal fold, so the crease at the bottom of your bum cheek, pushing the leg up into the air. And really think about these shoulders as well. You know, you have got some weight going through your arms right now, so double check you're not sinking into the arms. You're keeping your collarbone nice and wide. 2 more. Now this next one, we lift the leg, we hold, tiny pulses here. Lift and lift. Final 3, 2, last one, we hold, and then again slowly lower that knee back down. And again, that option is there if you want to sit back into a gentle child's pose. Just make sure you make the knees nice and wide so you've got the space for the bump to go through the centre. And just hang out here for a moment. 3, 2, and then slowly use your hands to push yourself back up to kneeling. Now I want you in a 4-point kneeling position. We're going to progress from that last exercise. So 4-point kneeling, my wrists are under my shoulders, my knees are under my hips. Now we're going to take the weight back over to the left knee. Double check again, you've got a neutral pelvis. So it's not flat back, but it's also not an arched back. There's a slight curve in the lower back. You're going to take the right knee, and we're going to lift it back up into the air like we did a moment ago and hold. Now this time I want you to imagine that you're a dog and you're about to take a pee up against a fire hydrant. So you're going to rotate that right leg out to the side, and then slowly bring the knee to point back down. Same again, rotate the leg out to the right, and then rotate the leg back to point down. So the leg stays lifted, it's just rotation at the hip. Think about the nice neutral pelvis, so just check you're not dipping into your lower back.
And again, a really good way of maintaining a neutral pelvis is to have just a gentle activation of the core. So I look down at my bump and I imagine just drawing it in slightly to activate my transverse muscle, which is the corset muscle that goes around your core. 3 more. Keep that knee lifted, last 2. Last 1. Hold it out in rotation for 3, 2, 1, and relax. Give your wrist just a gentle rotate. And if you find that your wrists are really sore at the end of 4-point kneeling, just try and bring your weight back into your legs a little bit more rather than shifting all the weight through the hands. So same again, find your neutral, gentle activation of the core and the pelvic floor. Lift that left knee into the air, and then we rotate it out to the side and back to neutral. So this is called fire hydrant, and again, you're visualizing that you're a dog and you're cocking your leg so that you can pee against a fire hydrant. Just make sure that you're not leaning to the right too much. You're keeping your hips relatively level. And again, there's that activation through the core and the pelvic floor to help maintain as much of a neutral pelvis as possible. 2 more. Last one, take it out to the left and hold it there. 3, 2, 1, and then release. Give your hips a bit of a wiggle, give your wrists a twist if you need it. And we're going to come down into a bit more of a comfortable position now. We're going to lie on our left-hand side. So you'll need your pillow. Feel free to use a couple of pillows if you need to. And some people might feel more comfortable with a rolled up towel under their bump as well, or a cushion. We'll see how you feel. So I'm going to lie on my left. I've got my pillow under my head. And what you want here is that your head is pretty much in line with the rest of your spine. Your head isn't hanging down towards the floor. The knees are stacked, the feet are stacked, and when I look down, if I could see over my bum, my heels are in line with my bum. So double check the hips are stacked as well. So you've got one on top of the other, and again, this is where you might need a towel under your bump. On your next exhale, keeping your heels together, you're going to lift your right leg up into the air, and then slowly lower the knee back down. So again, on the exhale, we rotate that leg, we lift the knee towards the ceiling, and then inhale, you slowly release. Now, I want you to really think about those hips, staying stacked one on top of the other. So just make sure that when you lift your leg, you're not going so high that it's making your hips move. The hips stay still, and the movement has actually come from this hip ball and socket joint. There's rotation there, and then releasing. And you can always press your fingers into the side of your bum as well. Really feel for those external rotators. You can feel them activate as you take that knee towards the ceiling. Exhaling as you lift, inhaling as you lower. And really just watch that you're not hoiking that right hip up towards your rib as well. Try and keep the hip so that it's completely level above the bottom one, and you're not sinking your waist into the ground. Now we're going to go for 2 more like this. 1 more. Hold this one at the top. Stay there. Give your bum a bit of a squeeze. 3, 2, 1, and relax. And while we have this leg here, you're going to straighten out your legs. Just have them slightly in front of you so you look a bit like a banana. And again, double check your hips are stacked. Now with that right leg straight, we're going to lift it up just to hip height and hold. So I've got a nice long line across the top of my body. Without moving my hips, I'm going to bring this right leg forwards just a touch. Then I'm going to pull it back in line with my body, lift it up and lower it down. So again, the leg comes forwards. I draw it back, I lift it up and I lower it down. So I'm drawing an L shape with my leg here. I'm only keeping the range of movement within me not being able to move. So I'm not going so far with these circles or with these L's that it's causing my hips to move. So it doesn't have to be a huge movement. And in fact, sometimes less is more. Now I am feeling this in the side of my bum. That's where you should be feeling this right now. We've got 2 more. And lift. We're going to inhale it forwards. Exhale to lift it up. Hold this last one in line with the body and stay. Think length through those toes. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now, giving your bum or your side of your bum a rub feels nice, but also hitting it feels a bit strange but feels good. So give it a rub, try and get rid of that burn. And then we're going to carefully change positions. So remember, always use your hands when you're pushing yourself up to change positions so you don't overuse your abs. And we'll do everything on that other leg. So climb first of all, lie on your right hand side.
Get yourself nice and comfortable, make sure your head feels like it's supported. You're going to have bent knees. I think the dog's about to join in now. No, go away. Over there, go to bed. So you're going to start with your hips stacked one on top of the other, your knees bent, your feet are in line with your bum, and imagine what you look like from above. From here, keep your heels together. You're going to exhale, lift the left knee up to the ceiling, and inhale to slowly lower it back down. Now I try to imagine here that I'm almost opening up a book. So as I lift that left knee up into the air, I'm opening a book, and then control the release. And what I see a lot in class is people allowing that leg just to drop back down. But I want you to think about resistance in both directions. So some people like to imagine there's a ball between the knees that they're pressing back down onto. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Again, you can always use your hands just to have a feel, to see if you can feel the engagement of those external rotators. 3 more like this. Just watch you're not sinking into your waist too much. You're not digging your right rib into the ground. 2. And on this last one, you're going to lift, you're going to hold it there. Gently squeeze that bum for 3, 2, 1, release. Straighten out those legs. Again, have them just slightly in front of you like a banana for balance, and then hold. You're going to lift your left leg up to hip height and stay. From here, we're going to sweep the leg forwards only as far as we can keep our balance, pull it back, and then lift it up into the air and lower it down. We bring it forwards, back, up, and down. So I'm drawing an L shape with this leg, nice and slow and controlled. It's not about going super speedy, and it's not about huge range of movement. And again, I can feel that burning in the side of my bum. 3 more like this, nice and controlled. You can use your hand on the floor for support. 2. Oh my gosh, 1 more. Pull it back, lift it up, bring it back to hip height, hold. Think length through that leg. 3, 2, 1, and then relax. Again, give your bum a rub or a punch if that makes it feel better. And then again, make sure you're using your hands to push yourself back up and just carefully come up to seated. If you need a quick glute stretch, you could always sit with the legs out in front of you. I'd have them quite wide so you've got space for your bump, and straighten them out as far as you can, keep a neutral pelvis. So you might find that when you fully straighten the legs, it makes you hunch. So find a position that's comfortable for you. And then just to open up the back of the body, just slowly flex over. So I feel the stretch up the back of my legs, in my glutes, but also in my back, which can get really tight when you're pregnant. Relax the back of the neck, hold it here, breathing into it, and then slowly come all the way back up. And that is your glute workout done.